right. This is the Decorah Prairie Archaeology Society, the president and the vice president. And we are here at the mall, the Valley View Mall, because today is the artifact show. Yay! Yeah.
You'll tell you, yeah, I don't know.
Holy cow. That's huge. We gotta get over and look at that. Oh, here's some more of the metal working too.
Baby mammoth that they found in Russia.
Oh, like a
Oh
big...
my God! It was a baby. Oh, it was.
So what I'm doing is what happened is how they made stone tools. So like your arrowheads or knives or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this piece of silicified sandstone here and this elk antler and I'm hitting it in a certain way to get pieces like this off, which are called flakes. And these are pretty sharp and can be used as cutting tools in and of themselves. And then as you work it down, you start to shape it and thin it out and make it into what you want.
Cool.
So they're making a mess of it. How to do this?
They told me I was allowed to do it, so.
So that looks like a lot of those rocks and things we found in the Decorah Prairie that look like they've been chipped off.
Chipped away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Some of these big ones are the ones that I always think are really interesting. But that was interesting how they actually got them to stick to the arrow.
I know it.
Where did these people raise their food?
Maybe they traded for it.
Don't know.
Could you just tell us a little bit about what it looked like or what it was?
So we have a large number of sites around here. There are village sites, big village complexes that really pretty much span the whole area of La Crosse, Onalaska, Homer, from about 400 to 700 years ago. And nobody really knew much about those back when the mall started. And Jim Gallagher, who founded the Mississippi Valley Archaeology Center, had grown up in this area. People knew him. And when work on the mall started, people came to him and said, "Did you know that there's a site there?" And so he worked with volunteers at first, and then with the developers, and got permission to come back out here. And so there was a project before the mall was built. And but there were a whole bunch of sites around this whole area. There is a little bit of that site still preserved off one edge, kind of on one edge of the mall property.
It isn't. Is it something people can go look at?
Well, there really isn't anything to see.
Oh.
It's just kind of one strip that isn't paved, and that's still preserved. But yes, it was.
Oh.
And they went up there and they dug and they found it. And then they died, now they passed it on. They were bachelors. And left, they were telling that
Oh,
joke.
nice. What do they mean by orphan? Found in a garage and after the owner died. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well.
They had a Prairie machine shirt. Look how thin that knife is.
Oh my gosh.
And when the children dropped it, they said they broke it in 3 pieces.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's been glued here. And
oh no.
I think it might even be a tip off maybe one of the corners they maybe didn't recover. But I said the thing's 10, 12,000 years old. Go all those years and then have some child break it
And
at
they
school.
dropped it. No.
One edge will have a bigger left-right curving,
Yeah.
and the other edge will be more straight. So one is like getting the meat off the bone, and the other side is for like cutting it into strips for
Okay.
drying wrap.
Yeah.
So, and all your points will be made the same size. One edge will be usually sharper than the other.
Hello.
This is Lauren, and I said, if you ask Lauren over, he'll tell you a little about that.
And you got to spell it for me again. Atlatl, A-T.
ATL.
A-T-L. Remember that, Sage.
Yeah. That's this tool right here.
Okay.
And what that is just a throwing stick. They use to propeller arrows that lengthen their arm, you know, so you can get more velocity as they threw. And the arrows were much bigger than that.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I see. It fits on the end.
Just like that. And it pivots as you throw it.
Ah.
It'll pivot like that, see?
Wow.
And they probably would only carry one arrow with them, but they'd have several darts.
Yeah.
And the dart goes in the end of the shaft like this. So now your arrow is loaded.
So you could hunt some really big game
Yes,
with that?
this was used for big game.
Like mammoths?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's what we were talking about is were the Native Americans around here actually hunting mammoths? And you said yes.
They absolutely were.
Sure.
'Cause I've got, in our collection, I've got a couple of paleo points that are called Clovis points, and that was used for hunting mammoth and mastodon.
Uh-huh.
And also extinct forms of bison,
Sure.
large bison.
Wow. Fascinating.
Well, Lauren will tell you how you make the shaft.
Yeah,
What they're made of.
what are they made out of?
This shaft is a bundle of shaft is viburnum. You can buy viburnum at any nursery. They have it.
Yeah.
They may call it arrowwood, but you take saplings that are about 3/8 of an inch in diameter, wrap them into a bundle to hold them fairly straight for 2 months. Once 2 months has passed, you can bring them out. They're going to be crooked. You can see there's some scorching on here. You heat that wood up over a campfire and then put pressure and you can straighten it. And you just keep going up
Sure.
and down the shaft until it's perfectly straight.
Viburnum, was that an indigenous plant?
Yeah,
Was it?
yes. Yep. It was used in primitive times.
Okay.
But not only viburnum, they used other woods too, whatever's available. You know, red osier, gray dogwood, cherry limbs.
Okay.
Once you get it straightened, you can remove the bark using stone tools. That's what I like to demonstrate. Scraping the bark off. Once you get the bark off, you can start reducing it to a desirable diameter. This deer antler, all that is a sizing tool. We're about this far down right now. So we're going to take a tool. You can see the wood coming off. And then check here.
So that's how they got it to be a consistent size.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you do your scraping, you start from where this left off,
Uh-huh.
and you do it in long strokes. And you keep doing that until the sizing tool comes off.
Oh, okay.
Once
Sure.
you get a dozen or so sized, they go into a bundle like this.
Then what?
You leave it in this bundle for about 4 months.
4 months?
So from the time you harvest until you can make an arrow takes about 6 months. Once you break it out of this bundle, they have to be sanded. These are sanding blocks. They call it an arrow shaft smoother. You pass the shaft through to make them smooth, rotating them as you go. Once that's done, just for demonstration purposes, this stone has teeth on it,
I see that, yeah.
and you would saw in your notches for the string, and then also for your arrowhead. The arrowhead is held on with wettened animal sinew. This is animal sinew here.
So-
I've done several tendons. It comes from the tendon of a white-tailed deer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Once you start separating them, setting them aside, when you're ready to make your arrow, you can soak these in warm hide glue or even water, but warm hide glue works better. And you just start wrapping it like this. If they're wet, they'll lay down much better. Then get another one, do it until you have enough on it to hold. Then overnight, that'll shrink and pull the arrowhead on tight.
I just wondered how they kept them on there.
On the other end, the feathers, this is tail feather of a wild turkey. You extend the quill a little bit, both front and back. You wrap your sinew around that to hold the feathers in the front and on the back. And then if you want to glue the feathers down, you can put some hide glue along the quill. You don't have to. I don't on everything. Here's one here. Let's see, you can see the feather is, it's not glue.
So, this is maybe a dumb question, but turkeys were indigenous to this area?
No,
I didn't think
they
so.
were south of Prairie du Chien.
Oh, okay.
But in the archaeological studies here at the university, they have found the wing bones.
Oh,
What were they doing? They asked me. I said, that's simple. They were bringing wing bones in from down by Prairie du Chien up here with the feathers attached.
so the turkeys, it was too far north for them around
Yes.
here? Okay.
There's a line from Prairie du Chien to Green Bay. South of that line, you were finding turkeys
Wow,
in
okay.
primitive times.
Why is that?
Well, for one thing, maybe habitat.
Okay, they didn't have much woods or anything.
Didn't have much
No.
oak and stuff like
We had
that
oak
up here.
savanna. We had mostly savanna.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oak Savannah, right.
And that's more for other animals, not turkeys.
Yeah.
Turkeys like deep forest.
Yeah, our turkeys hang out in the pine trees.
Yeah. Yeah. Native American bows, how they were made. This would be on the late woodland design. Rather thin, no handle, because they were scraping with stone tools, so they were just making long scrapes. After European contact, then you start seeing handles. So I think saws were available, rasps were available.
So they picked up that design from the Europeans then?
Well, I think the handle,
Okay,
uh,
Sure.
that's about the period when you start seeing handles.
okay.
Then on the backs of bows, they put the same material with hide glue on to reinforce the bow and to make it add draw weight to it.
Okay. And what kind of wood are they made out of?
This bow and this bow is white ash.
Okay.
This bow is hickory. Hickory was used a lot up here. It's very durable.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is black ash.
Ooh.
Now, they'd have to import that,
Yeah, I
I think.
didn't think that
I
was
think that was
around
found
here.
out east.
Huh.
The best bow woods comes out of Texas, down in that area.
Yeah.
Osage.
Osage.
Yeah, yeah.
You never hear of that up in this area.
No. But that's a super hard wood. That
Yes.
must have been tough for them
Very
to.
difficult to work on.
I would imagine.
In California, they would have used California yew,
Okay.
Y-E-W,
Yeah.
and that's a very good bow. I want to show you our sanding blocks. This is an artifact. This one is. It's broken,
Okay.
but I just replicated that.
Yeah.
We found this in one of our sites. We've identified 20 different prehistoric sites on our farm.
And where's your farm?
Vernon County,
Oh,
right
okay.
along the North Fork of the
Okay.
Mad Axe River.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. And what is, oh, the pipestone. That's what we found a few pieces made out of that.
Yes, we
pink stone.
we took trips out to that area
Uh-huh.
to visit the National Monument.
my
These two
goodness.
tables are artifacts that came off our farm.
Gee whiz.
Piece of ceramic that I found. We have a spring that goes through
Uh-huh.
our property, and I was walking along that spring one day, and there's a chunk of that pottery laying
Look at
there. So I
that.
picked it up, took it home, cleaned it up. A couple months later, I was down there, and there was another chunk. So I just
Wow.
glued them together. I suppose the rest of the pot's in there somewhere, but I'm never
Yeah,
going to dig
this
it.
is very nice.
This is nice.
Nice way
So-
to display them, isn't it?
Now, when we grew up in the spring, when people went out and did their moldboard plowing,
Oh,
that
sure.
that was when all the artifacts came up, which they don't do that anymore. But did you have the same thing?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's when I found ours. But
Yeah.
now I rent my land out to a farmer that no-tills.
Right.
So that ends the harvest of
I know.
material.
Good and bad, isn't it?
Well, I think it's okay.
Yeah. It's upside down. I can't. What does it say? So you're finding this down by
Over by North Bend.
oh, by North Bend. Oh, okay. Huh. So his mother was our teacher. There, look at that.
Oh, isn't that cool?
1880.
And there, yeah, Mammoth Tooth.
I gotta put my glasses on.
There they are. There's the big guys. And this one's got to be the mastodon then. That's a mastodon tooth.
Mastodon and
That's what I've
mammoth.
learned anyway, that the mastodon tooth is real different.
And the mammoth.
Yeah. I'd found some of these over by Arcadia. Some farmers had found something like that. Yeah, you don't, here's my hand so you see how big this really is. My goodness. What would you say if you found something like this out in the soybean field?
I'd be really excited.
There's
Before they get real busy.
John, if we're not home, we just leave a message on the instant. This is where it's bumping out, right? So that's where it's going to actually be impacting everything.
oh, those are beautiful. They're so little. Oh,
So
gorgeous.
the raw materials would
Thank you.
fit being from Florida. Again, probably
Did you see
too bow
those?
and arrow points are just too
That's,
tiny.
I've never seen anything like that.
Beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably middle woodland. It doesn't have decoration on it, but it's probably, well, maybe. Yeah, so probably about 300 to 400 AD. Nice.
Yeah,
You can
so
kind of
now
see the writing
it's.
on there, and usually on the writing on the back, it'll tell you like who the manufacturer was. But it's so corroded, it's too hard to tell exactly what.
We'd normally find them so that they're usually hafting them. It's so worn, almost looks like maybe somebody may have picked it up and tried to grind it and polish it.
I mean, they could have picked it up historically and
Yeah.
done with it, but
So that's a possibility. So that's all from polish, like here.
Yeah.
And
I mean, not real tiny. I've seen a lot smaller,
yeah,
but still.
but that's a good side notch kind of. You're probably in this range of the Madison side notch to Reddit's in there.
Okay. So that I don't have my glasses. How many
So
years is
it's
it?
It's about 3000 BC. So
Oh
about
wow!
5,000
Wait till I
BC.
tell them. He's
Yeah.
gonna be really excited.
Yep. So good. So this is probably our Kramer right in here.
Pretty old then. Yeah.
So still pretty old.
Yeah.
Just trying to make this into, and then I can hear the cursing reverberating from the past. This was hafted. This was this long,
Yeah.
and it went into an animal. And
Oh.
it hit a bone.
Oh.
And it split right down that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
See the hit, and it just split right along that surface.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful raw material? It's not. It's a stemmed point. I know. I worked on that already. Yep. I know, and I turned it around, and it's a Kramer. But I was really trying to make it into that. If they hadn't broken that,
right, because I was looking.
yeah, I'm looking at that. It's like, oh, that's a paleo point. Yeah, but it's not. It's a stem.
Oh, good.
I know.
Thank you very
So it's
much.
beautiful.
That's interesting.
Good.
Thank you very much. In here,
As
didn't
soon as
we?
he came in, I said, by God, it's members of the Cora Archaeology.
The Cora Prairie, you bet.
Childhood friends.
Yeah, her brother had quite the collection of stuff he found when he was out in the
And what
soybean
happened to
field.
it?
I gave part of it to a son and I kept the other.
Well, she still got some then.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Gotta get over and look at that.
Looks good. Nice piece of flint. I'm not sure where that flint comes from. It's another piece of some of them would be short stuff. I don't think it's from around here. Flushing. Yeah, Flushing too. I think that's what it is.
What can you tell me about this one?
It's mine. Actually.
Oh, that's yours?
It's a probably a ceremonial piece. It's from a field next to the Hopewell Mound Group down between Stoddard and DeSoto.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
Oh yes, one of the bigger ones. I know one other one that's about that size.
So what did they do with it?
I think burial goods, buried it with a chief or somebody well known. That's my guess.
That is, I've never seen anything like that. That's amazing. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, this isn't something you'd want to carry around with you, I
Right,
guess.
I was in Chicago to see this baby mammoth that they found in Russia.
Oh, it's like a
Oh my
big.
God! It was a baby. Oh, it was so thrilling.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like a big. I'm sorry. Big hairy elephant.
Yeah.
Really? Ah. Hi.
I'm gonna make a couple of these. I just stopped. Other on, that's fine.
It's here, 360. Heat treat material.
See, I should have my stuff in something like that. That's real professional looking, isn't it?
That's from 16,000 years ago.
But look at this one, how big that is. Wow.
Very pretty. Some next year.
Might be nothing.
I don't have anything like that.
It does, but this
That's heavy
you can
with.
find the rest of it.
That's the kind of thing you'd use to hunt a mastodon, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no working on it. So it's just the tip. Yeah.
No, it's not.
One guy showed to it.
No, it's not.
Well,
It is paleo. It likely is
It
paleo.
very likely is, but you have to find the rest of it to
Yeah, to know for sure.
Yeah.
I will. Where they're at.
Yeah, exactly. You just keep working on that. That one you should find.
There's a good chance it's paleo. How's that?
Yeah.
Can't say for sure.
Yeah, but that working is pretty characteristic of those. So, but you do have your little late archaics here, and probably a little St. Charles here, and a little Steuben expanding was some sort of a scraper.
Okay.
That's with all those edges there.
Okay.
So that's a nice little scraper edge. This is another nice flake. And so all of these, they're all probably coming from, this is still a flake. This may have been, well, this was bigger, it was longer, and they may have been using this edge. The flakes, Jack Larson's going to be flint napping in a while, and he's going to be making flakes. If you've never seen that process, the flake, he's going to be, when are you starting? Rest of that. And then this is probably a tip from probably a point. So definitely cultural. This is another nice flake. In fact, here you can see the ripple marks. You can see those curves?
Yep.
Those are the ripple marks that are going through the chert. And it's the same kind of ripple marks that you would get when you drop water into a pool of water. These ripple marks that go out is exactly the same physics to produce ripple marks going out. So you can see this is pretty clear. That other rock you had before, you can kind of see that on here. And so this might be, this is probably still also cultural. So yes, and then keep protecting them just the way you are, because this edge is really tiny flakes. This is probably a much larger knife, and then it snapped, and it became too small for them to use. So nice.
Thank you.